Hello, I'm Logan Phillips, and welcome to my vlog, or as we like to call it, the VLOGAN. This is a vlog dedicated to people with special needs and those who love them. Welcome, listeners and viewers, to VLOGAN. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I am lucky enough to have Doug Jackson. Doug is the Deputy Director of Stable Accounts with the Ohio Treasurer's Office. He's going to tell us about Stable, how you can access Stable, how Stable is changing lives in Ohio, and then how you can learn more. So Doug, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me with you today, Logan.
Yeah, tell everybody about your job, what you do with Stable, and then we'll get into what Stable is.
Sure, I get to tell people the good news about a program that helps people with disabilities. So my job is working for the state treasurer's office on the Stable Account program. And it's really about outreach and helping people in Ohio and across the country understand the tools that are available to them.
Great. Well, so what is that tool and how's it changing lives?
Yeah, that's a great lead in. That tool we call Stable Account. That's the brand name of Ohio's ABLE program. So in the country, we are allowed to have these accounts called ABLE accounts, achieving a better life experience. The federal government allows that so that people with disabilities can save money beyond the resource limits of Medicaid and SSI. So that low resource limit, $2,000. People have historically been challenged by that, spent down money, wasted money, hid money, so that they didn't impact their public benefits. But with an ABLE account, you can now save money as long as it's protected in that ABLE account. So for Ohio, we call it Stable Account. Again, that's the brand name of it, but it is an ABLE program that meets all the federal regulations and allows you that safeguard of saving and investing money.
I know you don't like to brag about Stable, but isn't Stable the largest ABLE account that there is? Some states have their own. You guys are the ABLE account for lots of states. Will you tell folks about that?
Yeah, so it is administered out of the state of Ohio, but it's a national program. And the reason that we do that is because it allows us to serve more people, have better economy of scale, have a better product. But we have a few things to brag about here in Ohio. First of all, we were the first ABLE program in America. So other ABLE programs do exist. I'm never afraid to talk about that because what I know is people still choose Stable Account. We are the most used ABLE program in America. I don't say that just to brag about numbers, but I say that because people with disabilities that have choice on what ABLE program they want to use, even if they're in a state that has their own ABLE program, we are still a choice oftentimes in that state. And people from all 50 states are using Stable accounts. So it is something that Ohio can be proud of, that it's administered right here in our state. It's available to Ohio residents, and we've got the best program, arguably.
Got it. So I want to make sure that I have this straight. So a person who has a disability and wants to save money can't save over the $2,000 resource limit, or they lose their SSI or lose their Medicaid waiver. This allows them to save more than $2,000 and not lose those benefits.
That is the whole purpose of an ABLE account. So Stable Account does the good job of providing the functionality for that to happen. On our website, stableaccount.com is where you go to open an account. When you open an account, that account then becomes a place to safeguard your money beyond $2,000. So you can still have your personal savings account, your personal checking account, but when those get close to $2,000, in the past, your option was, spend it down, go out and buy something you don't need, waste it, or hide it someplace, which we would never advocate for because that's illegal. But we know that it happened. Or now the option is that you can put it in a protected account, this Stable account, and using Stable Account is that account for you to be able to open the account online, use it online, so it's available to you whenever you need it. But you can put money into it, you can take money out. So it's for short term, it's for long-term use, savings, and investing. Yeah, so the thing I talk to families about is, you've got an individual who wants to save for something, and whether it's a telescope or a car or a trip, and trying to teach the young adult about money. Hey, parents often say, we'll pay for half, you need to pay for half. Well, the person's out there mowing lawns, babysitting, working, and they now have a way to save towards those larger items and really provide some independence. We've had people that are working in the past that have kept a low number of hours because there was really no motivation to earn more money because they couldn't save it. they had to spend it and get rid of it to keep the public benefits that were so important to them, their SSI, their Medicaid. But now, because you can save it, there is more reason to work. You can start to set, as you were talking about, those financial goals, and everybody's goal is different. We have great stories of what those financial goals are for people. Sometimes it's something small. Sometimes it's something that's a one-time expense like a vacation. Other times it's much larger things like purchasing a vehicle. We've actually had people now saving, and we have success stories of purchasing a house. They saved up the down payment for that house. Many times you have to put a portion down. And without a stable account, you can't save more than $2,000. So you don't have enough to buy a vehicle or to put a down payment on a house. But those stories are really what motivate me, is that it's changing people's lives. Because they have that ability to save, they can live a life much more like a person without a disability, with those financial goals, financial independence.
Awesome. So one of the things that I think that a lot of people don't know about the stable is just how broadly it can be used to spend for things. I think a lot of my clients come in and say, hey, we like the stable account, but we're concerned that all these limitations on what we can spend it for. Can you offer, the viewers some perspective about what that means? And really, in my opinion, there's very little limitation on what can be spent out of the stable account and what it can be spent for.
I hate to even use the word limitation, but I understand that there is a definition of what is a qualified disability expense. So the stable account can be used for anything that is defined as a qualified disability expense. That definition is this: anything that helps to improve or maintain the health, independence, or quality of life of that person with a disability. So the account is owned by the person with a disability, even if it's being managed by somebody else like a parent. It's still for the person with a disability. So the expenses have to be for that person. And then to improve or maintain health, independence, or quality of life, think how broad that definition is. As you said, Logan, it's really more challenging to find what you cannot buy than it is to find what you can buy. Some of the general categories, just regular expenses of any person that it can pay for, would be things like housing. That's so important. Food, transportation, whether it's modifying a vehicle, purchasing a vehicle, or public transportation, even Uber and Lyft. Education, assistive technology, medical needs, legal or financial needs. And then my favorite is just the category we call all other things. It just has to fit that definition of health, independence, and quality of life.
Yeah, that's great. It bears repeating. So a stable account, on the assets in it can be spent on anything that improves or maintains the health, independence, or quality of life for the individual. That's great. Now, how easy is the stable account to use? It's one of the things I love about it, but tell the viewers about how easy a stable account is to use.
Yeah, we start off with it, making it easy from the very beginning. So the enrollment process is even an easy process. And many times people are just blown away by how easy it really is. And they're blown away because their past experiences are getting other programs set up like SSI or Medicaid, where you make an appointment, you go to an office, you take your filing cabinet with you to prove your eligibility. You find out you don't have the right papers with you, and you start the process over again. For stable account, it's not that way. Going to stableaccount.com and clicking the button open an account, after that, 10 to 20 minutes and your account is open. It's just asking for some basic information from you, personal information that we need to keep your account open and under your name. And then to use it, it's just as simple. It's electronic, it's easy to use online. You log into your account, you can transfer funds into it or out of it. You can make payments directly from stable account through third-party bill paying. And we have a loadable debit card that's another spending feature that is really one of our most powerful features. It's a Visa card, and it lets people be empowered with their own spending card. The person with a disability can carry it, but because it's loadable, it has some protections to it. So that if the parent is managing the stable account, but they want their child to have access, this loadable card is perfect for them. They can load some money onto it, give it to their child. The child can go out and spend, but they can only spend the amount they've been given access to. So those tools I know we work together oftentimes, Logan, and the families you serve, I think they're just as surprised to find out how easy and useful this is.
Yeah, so just kind of overarching things. So it's easy to get and enroll. It's easy to use, and you can save more than $2,000. It really is the answer to a lot of problems that my clients face. Now, you mentioned you have to provide some information. Who can set up a stable account for a person with a disability?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the good news is that it's even expanding. ABLE accounts continue to improve and get better through the federal regulations. So an authorized legal representative is who can open an account for the person with a disability if the person with a disability isn't opening it for him or herself. So first, I always like to point out that 1/3 of our accounts are managed by the person with a disability.
Wow.
I think that that's an empowering statistic in itself. Because the process is easy to use, many people can use it on their own. But if a person needs somebody to help them, an authorized legal representative is a parent, a guardian, or a power of attorney. But those regulations are expanding to include a grandparent, a sibling, and a representative payee. So because it's expanding, we now have more people able to help the person with a disability take advantage of this.
Awesome. And you actually have a power of attorney on the website for a person to be able to sign, correct?
Yeah, we do. That form is right on our resource page. It's a limited power of attorney that if the person with a disability has the capacity to sign for themselves, so they're their own guardian and they can sign those forms, they could designate somebody to open the stable account for them and manage it for them by signing that form. So
Awesome.
yeah, we tried to take care of that as well, just to make that process easy too.
I know a lot of times for my clients, it's the person with a disability and somebody else sitting right next to them, and they're doing it together. And so it's the person with the disability who is saying, enter this, and then hitting the button to submit. So they're doing it themselves with just some supports. So
Yeah, we call that just being assisted in the enrollment process. I'm a fan of nothing about me without me.
yes,
Being able to do it with supports is the best way to go versus taking away independence.
love it. Love it. I agree 100%. So now what happens when the person with the stable account passes away? If there's money left over in the account, what happens?
Yeah, that's a great question. You really get kind of into the technical or the legal weeds of a stable account, but it's important to understand that because the stable account is an account that is for the person with a disability. And because it's owned by that person with a disability, the funds that are in there have the potential of having Medicaid look to that account to say, we want back some of the money that Medicaid has spent on that person's services. So that's called a Medicaid lien or Medicaid recovery. And what that means is that the funds still remaining in the stable account can be recovered for the value of Medicaid services from the date the account was opened forward. So if you receive Medicaid services in the past, they cannot recover those funds out of the stable account, but from the date the account was opened forward. However, there's some additional protections. The stable account can first pay for all outstanding qualified disability expenses. So if there's any remaining bills that need paid, it can pay those. And here's the most important one, and where many families even exhaust the stable account, and that's that the stable account can pay for funeral and burial. And those are big expenses. So depending on how much money you have in the stable account, it may be gone after that.
Nothing happens to the money while the person with the disability is alive. It is completely there for them to use, and there doesn't have to be anything left in it when the person passes away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important to know, and it's just paying back. It's not paying for anything that is, that wasn't given to the person with a disability. And I want to point out to the viewers about something that, the stable and the treasurer's office did that I'm aware of, that a state tried to claim money from a stable account and hadn't provided the right authorization, the right accounting, the right information to confirm that that's what was owed. And you guys said, no, we're not going to give this to you until you confirm what it is that you're supposed to confirm. And again, I think that that's part of what people need to know, is that the treasurer's office is on their side in all of this.
Yeah, we've done our diligence to work with individual states because we're a national program. We work with Medicaid offices all across the country. Now here in Ohio, we have our closest relationship. Our office is a few blocks away from the Medicaid offices. So it's a very easy relationship to have, but We've done that in many, many states across the country because the need has arisen, and we continue to grow that number of states that we've just interacted with the Medicaid office. But we know the ABLE account rules, and so we make sure that the Medicaid office is working within those rules.
If you are an Ohio resident and you are interested in putting money into a stable account for a person with a disability, you can actually get an income tax deduction in the state of Ohio. So that's an extra enhancement for people in Ohio to use the stable account. But people across the country would use the stable account because of all the benefits that we talked about already. So viewers, I hope that maybe makes you excited to want to learn more. It's beyond the scope of what we can talk about today. But on May the 4th, Doug and I are going to be doing a presentation with Bridgeway Academy. That is a school for individuals with autism from preschool through high school. And that's going to be open for all people, whether they attend Bridgeway or not. Then we're going to do a presentation for the Make It Fit Foundation, June the 15th at 6:30. And then finally, we've got a presentation called Yes, a Stable Account Can Pay for That. And that's on the 29th of June at 6:30. We will also have those posted on the Resch, Phillips and Graham website. That's rrpg-law.com. That'll all be there so you can attend. Those are free to attend. They're webinars or Zoom meetings. So anybody can attend, whether you're in Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Omaha, Nebraska, or Honolulu, Hawaii, you can attend. Doug, I want to thank you for being here to talk about Stable. I know that the viewers of this vlog appreciate all the information that you've given, and I couldn't do this without good folks like you coming on. So thank you so much.
Well, it's always good to partner with Resch, Phillips and Graham. Your firm knows what you're doing, and it's just fits together that we can talk about what you do, about what Stable Account does, and how it works together.
Hey, great. I'll see you soon, at least on May the 4th for our presentation.
All right, Logan. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Logan. Please like, share, and subscribe to the RRPG channel so you can stay up to date with some of the latest news in the disability community.